What's up guys, this is Sam and Zeke, and high school is happening to us right now. We're doing a project for our civics class.
And we are supposed to present something to you that would change the world, and that means something to us. So we're supposed to upload this video to YouTube, and we thought that it would be the best idea to upload because we know that that has a huge impact on society.
The easiest way for us to access the world is through the internet, so we thought for our project we'd make an iMovie and post it on YouTube. We decided to do our project on nuclear war because nuclear war is something very devastating that has happened in the past and it could happen again, and with modern technology it could easily be on a much larger or global scale, and that's something I know not a lot of people think about that on a daily basis. Like, you don't think about, oh, are we all gonna die tomorrow from a nuke? But it's something that could easily happen in the future, and it's something that I think not a lot of people address, and we should all be aware of it.
Okay, so now we're going to go on to history. The history of nuclear war is a pretty bad one, pretty brutal one. The United States was the first one to use nuclear weapons on another country in 1945 on Japan. There were 2 atomic bombs, which are the same thing as nuclear bombs, and they were dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, 2 cities in Japan, and that resulted in the end of World War II. There is another incident of nuclear war where the Cold War, where the United States and Russia, or the Soviet Union, had a standoff to see who would drop bombs first, and it was basically a stalemate. To this day, people are just continuing to make bombs, continuing to make nuclear weapons, and it just poses a bigger threat to the rest of society.
Hopefully there is no more history to nuclear war, and hopefully we just said the rest of the history for the entire Earth, but you never know, and that's why we're talking about this today, so that we can educate you on what could happen so that you're not naive about it. You might be asking yourself right now, what even is a nuclear bomb? Well, we're here to tell you. A nuclear bomb basically is a huge, massive release of energy, and we're talking tons and tons of energy here, like massive amounts, enough to disintegrate you in a very short amount of time. Basically what happens is something called nuclear fission, and this is the same thing that's happening at nuclear power plants, creating electricity that is powering your device right now that you're watching this on. Essentially what happens is atoms are splitting, and this is causing massive amounts of energy to be released, and when you split a lot of atoms at the same time, you create nuclear energy, and if that energy has nowhere to go and isn't channeled anywhere, basically it creates a bomb, and a mass amount of energy is released, also known as an explosion, and a lot of people can get hurt.
The atomic bomb was first created by the United States. The first atomic bombs were finished and created by the United States. The Nazi scientists were probably the first ones to start figuring out how to use them and how to make them to harm people and to harm cities and places around the world. Albert Einstein gave a letter to Roosevelt while Einstein was living in Hungary, and
essentially there was a big race, and then the United States put a lot of money into something called the Manhattan Project, which was basically to form a nuclear bomb.
So the Manhattan Project employed over 200,000 people, and the first atomic bomb was made on July 16, 1945, and it was tested during that day in Alamogordo. By the time the bomb was tested, Germany had already surrendered, so the only place that would be able to drop it is Japan, and Japan refused to surrender, so we had to take action and bomb Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Germany had already surrendered, and the Allied powers only had to take out Japan to win the war. So there's a few ways to take out Japan. First of all, we could send in a bunch of Allied troops, and we're talking thousands upon thousands of Allied troops to take over Japan, basically, and a lot of Allied troops would die in that process. A lot of our own guys would be killed in order to do that.
Or we can make it easier and just bomb the entire place, killing civilians, like innocent civilians that we're trying to protect Japanese from, but at least we can kill our own guys, I guess.
No Allied people died, but here's the thing, we didn't just bomb them out of the blue. We warned them first. We said, you better surrender now or bad things are gonna happen, really bad things are gonna happen. Then we sent down the first bomb, and Japan still didn't surrender, basically. We told them to surrender after that, and we had had to unfortunately drop a second bomb before they would surrender, sadly. And a lot of innocent lives were lost, but it had to be done, and it saved a lot of Allied troops. So a lot more of our men got to go home to their families.
Nuclear war is a very terrible thing that is a possibility and could happen to the world, and we are trying to build awareness that nobody should have to go through what the Japanese people had to go through, and we just don't want the world to end up as a dark and horrible place.
To wrap it up, thank you for watching our video. We really appreciate it, and we hope you can take some knowledge away from what we've told you today.